So the Olympics are now over and Team USA once again wins gold, and after their win against Serbia, I thought there was no way the France game could even match the excitement of what I felt when I watched that Serbia game. Well, I was wrong. France showed up and the game had me out of my chair. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, because even though it was an 11-point win, the game was not over and decided upon until the very last minute. And I want to give a quick shout out to Victor Wembanyama and Gershon Yabusele. Victor had 20 and Gershon had 26, but they were the main reasons that France was in that game to begin with. Nano De Colo had 12 in this game as well, and if France had just one more guy who could score over double digits, then we may be in trouble. But at the same time, this was a very fantastic game all the way down to the last second, and we're going to talk about it mainly the second half. During the first half of this game, I was stuck at the greatest place in America. The first thing that I remember seeing is a Steph 3, I believe it was in the third quarter around the 8-minute mark, so I sat back and I was like, yeah, we got this will be fine. But then a few things happened, and that ended with a horrible miscue by Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant, which led to a lay-in going into the fourth quarter. We will also discuss the MVP of the Olympics, which LeBron won that, and there's some controversy around that. But before we get into this video, make sure that you guys like, comment, and also subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 2,500 subscribers, and with that, let's go ahead and get into this video. So Team USA's MVP throughout this particular game was obviously Steph Curry, but let's talk about some key guys that came off the bench and made a huge impact for Team USA. With that, let's start with Anthony Davis. When he was on the floor, he made an instant impact, which is one of the key reasons why Embiid did not see the floor as much, only racking up 11 minutes in this game. Anthony Davis had 20 minutes in this game. He only had 8 points. However, he had 6 offensive rebounds and 4 blocks, and he led the team with 9 rebounds. And those 8 points came off of a efficient 4 or 5 from the field. So I think Anthony Davis is pretty okay in that regard. His defense down the stretch was also amazing. He was guarding, he was switching, he was doing whatever was needed to be done. And that's something I can say about the next guy who I think deserves a lot of love, and that's Jrue Holiday. He hit 2 key threes in the second half to keep the team afloat, and his defense overall through the Olympics has been great. And when you look at the stat sheet, their numbers won't blow you away, they won't wow you. However, you got to have those guys who are willing to do the dirty work in order to win. Now, let's fast forward to the third quarter, because it looks like Team USA is about to pull away, but they just became too careless with the ball. And that really started to get on my nerves. Steph had a bad turnover. I think KD had a turnover. They were just turning the ball over like crazy. Defense was looking shaky. It was all over the place. And then I remember one point in the third, Victor hit a 3 and the crowd lost their damn mind. If I was there and I was from France, I would have lost my mind too, because they believed that they could steal this game from Team USA. Now, I will say, when KD threw that lob to Anthony Edwards, I thought that it was OV at that point. The French crowd simmered down just a little bit, but then towards the end of the third quarter, I alluded to it earlier, where an exchange was supposed to happen between KD and Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards looked like he was going to throw the ball directly to KD, but KD was trying to make a cut, and so KD thought he was going to pass the ball after his cut. The whole thing just did not look good. France stole the ball and proceeded to get a layup to end the third quarter. And that pretty much sums up the third quarter for Team USA. Turnover after turnover, bad defense at times, and that prevented them from extending this lead against France. And before I talk about the fourth quarter, I just want to talk about something else that I noticed that did not help France's chance in winning this game. France shot 30% from 3, 58% from the free throw line versus Team USA, who shot 50% from 3 and 100% from the free throw line, albeit they did only have 8 attempts while France had 17 attempts at the free throw line. Either way, when you don't make your free throws and you're not shooting that well from deep, probably gonna lose that game more than likely. Anyways, the fourth quarter really came down to Steph Curry. Every time it looked like France had a chance, Steph shut that down. With around 2 minutes or so left to go, Wemby made a tip in after getting an offensive rebound that had me screaming at the TV. So now the score is 79-82. Very, very close. But that's when Steph made one of his 4 threes that he had in the fourth quarter, and I lost my mind. France scored again after a timeout, but Steph stepped in and hit another 3. And I'm jumping damn near out the door at this point. Then Nicholas Batum, bang, hit a 3. France would not sit down. Then Steph came back with another 3. He would not sit down. Then Wemby hit a 3. And guess what Steph did? We already know. He hit another 3. Steph finished with 24. All of his points came from 3s, clutching up time after time for Team USA. And I want to give a quick shout out to Devin Booker and KD. They both finished with 15 points. Devin Booker in particular just remained consistent the entire time. Didn't do anything crazy. Played well defensively. Actually had a lot of energy throughout. KD being KD, the legit 7-foot 1v1 pull-up 3 champion, was a huge factor, a huge difference maker throughout the entire Olympics. His presence on the floor itself is just something different. Now that leads me into the conversation about Team USA versus the rest of the world. Yes, other places are getting better, especially when it comes to playing as a group, because they usually get to do it more often. And now you have a lot of guys like Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Wembanyama, Giannis, the list goes on and on. Some of the best players in the world right now are not necessarily from the USA. The rest of the world is going to get better and better. The main difference right now, though, in my personal opinion, is that, for instance, you have Jokic playing for Serbia, but who else does Serbia really have? Imagine for a second if Luka Doncic was from Serbia and they were on the same team. Now, we will have a problem. So I say until a country has multiple stars, the US will more than likely win, but it will come a point in time where a country, I don't know which one yet, will have multiple stars playing on that one team, and then it's going to get very, very interesting. And now moving on to the MVP conversation. As you know, LeBron James won the MVP. And now a lot of people were up in arms about that because Steph Curry had 2 fantastic games, but I have no problem with LeBron James winning the MVP because he honestly was more consistent throughout the entire Olympics. Now, if they would have gave the MVP to Steph, I would not have been upset about it because Steph has been the best player in the last 2 games, and these are the 2 games that Team USA really was pushed. The other games, kinda, but Serbia and France pushed Team USA more than any other teams did. And so if you want to say, well, he was more important when it actually counted, I give you that argument, but LeBron James was more consistent than Steph. Where Steph lost the MVP was the first 4 games throughout the Olympics. We're looking at this graph right here. He only averaged 7 points through the first 4 games, 25% from 3, and so the last 2 games is where he really took off. LeBron averaged 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists with a steal in the Olympics. And LeBron James did a fantastic job throughout the entire Olympics with facilitating the ball, and he locked in on defense when needed. Now, I'm not saying that he played great on defense. A lot of the times he saved his energy for the offensive side of the ball, but at the same time, there are times where switches happen. He guarded Jokic a little bit in the Serbia game, didn't do bad. And I think one of the best plays that I saw from LeBron was that behind the back pass to Steph for 3. That was clean. LeBron still is the best passer in basketball to me. Now, I could be wrong, but you let me know down below. But shout out to Team USA. It was very important for them to win this, especially after what Noah Lai said. Like, I forgot when it was, but world champion of what? They got it now. So they really had to lock down and win this one, because if they didn't, oh my goodness, ain't no telling how that would have went. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below. And if you made it this far in the video,